In the bitter winter of 1605, as Tsar Boris Godunov's health failed and Russia descended into chaos, Count Mikhail Romanov stood at his manor window, watching as the first snowfall blanketed Moscow's streets, unaware of how dramatically his world would soon change. The news of the false Dmitri's approach spread through Red Square like wildfire, and Count Mikhail observed the growing unrest among the people, their loyalties divided and their futures uncertain. At the Boyar Council, fierce debates raged over allegiances, as Poland and Sweden circled like vultures around the weakening Russian state, and Count Mikhail found himself caught between warring factions. From the Kremlin walls, he watched as parts of Moscow burned during the uprising against the false Dmitri, the orange glow of flames reflecting in his eyes as he contemplated the fragility of power. When the Polish army advanced toward Moscow, Count Mikhail fled his estate with only his most loyal servants and his family's treasures, traveling through snow-laden forests toward his distant northern holdings. In exile, he penned letters to distant relatives and potential allies, chronicling the usurpations and foreign interventions that were tearing Russia apart while planning for an uncertain future. In a small village church far from Moscow, Count Mikhail met with other exiled nobles to discuss support for young Mikhail Romanov, whose claim to the throne offered hope for an end to the destructive time of troubles. When the Zemsky Sobor finally elected young Mikhail Romanov as Tsar in 1613, Count Mikhail was among the first to pledge fealty at Ipatiev Monastery, seeing in the boy's ascension the promise of stability after nearly 2 decades of bloodshed. Standing in the cathedral of the Dormition during the coronation, Count Mikhail felt the weight of history shifting as the first Romanov Tsar was crowned, beginning a dynasty that would rule Russia for 3 centuries. Years later, as Moscow slowly rebuilt and Russia regained its strength under the new Tsar, Count Mikhail would often reflect on the time of troubles, recognizing how close their great nation had come to complete dissolution and how the will of a few determined men had altered the course of history.